There is a power that rests quietly within you, a silent companion that has been waiting since the very moment you first opened your eyes to this world, a whisper, gentle and undemanding, urging you to look inward. It is the soul's reminder that you are not here by accident, that the very longing you feel to become something greater is, in truth, an invitation to remember what you already are. Today, I invite you to journey with me, not out into the world, but deep into the uncharted territory of your own being. Let this be a pilgrimage home, a sacred return, as you awaken to the call to be the embodiment of your dreams. You have been taught that dreams are distant, glittering possibilities floating on the horizon, available only to those who chase hard enough, sacrifice enough, strive. And so, like so many before you, you may have set out, heart full of hope, to conquer the world. Yet every path you traveled, every summit you reached, every treasure you unearthed seemed at some silent hour to turn to mist in your hands. It is then, in the quiet aftermath of achievement, that the great paradox reveals itself. What you seek has never lived outside you. The dreams you chase are not foreign visitors. They are the soul's memory, the echo of your truest self, calling you to live not as a seeker, but as an embodiment. Let us surrender, just for this moment, the relentless pursuit, the need to earn, the anxious striving to become. Let us stand together in the gentle humility of being and discover what it truly means to become the living expression of your deepest dreams. Imagine for a moment the ocean. Its vastness cannot be contained, its depth cannot be measured, and yet every wave that rises upon its surface carries the entire ocean within it. In the same way, you are not merely a wave, a fleeting moment of existence. You are the ocean itself, every drop of you woven from the same eternal source. When you chase your dreams as if they are separate from you, you become like the wave longing to find the ocean, forgetting that it is already home. The dreams you carry are not destinations. They are the language of your soul, the sacred blueprints planted in you before the world could teach you to doubt. And so, as you pause to listen beneath the noise of expectation and fear, you begin to hear the deeper music, the song of your being. It does not clamor for attention. It does not barter for worthiness. It simply is, humming with the knowing that you are already enough, that the seeds of every dream are already sown in the soil of your heart. You need not become someone else to live them. You need only remember. Rumi said, "What you seek is seeking you." But I say even more, what you seek is living through you. The longing for joy, for healing, for purpose, for love, these are not random sparks in the darkness. They are the radiant signature of your own divinity, the fingerprints of the infinite upon your soul. Every time you desire to create, to serve, to love, to awaken, you are not moving away from yourself, but deeper into the truth of who you have always been. Let the old stories of lack fall away now. Release the weight of all the voices that told you you are not enough, not ready, not worthy. These are not your voices. They are the dust of collective forgetting, the echo of a world that confuses being with having, worth with doing, love with approval. The Tao Te Ching tells us that the softest thing in the world overcomes the hardest, that yielding is strength, and that the greatest wisdom lies in simplicity. So let us return gently to the simplicity of being, and there rediscover the dream that does not demand achievement, but arises from the pure joy of existence itself. To embody your dreams is not to perform, to impress, or to compete. It is to become transparent to the deepest truth within you, so that your life itself becomes a window through which the divine can shine. You are the canvas, and you are the artist. You are the field, and you are the sower. The soul does not chase, she allows. She opens, she reveals. She trusts that the tree does not strain to bear fruit. It simply lives in harmony with its own nature. Awakening, then, is not a journey upward or outward. It is a journey inward, a returning to the ground beneath your feet, the breath in your lungs, the silent knowing at the core of your being. The ego, desperate for validation, may whisper that only when you achieve will you be complete. But the soul smiles and reminds you, you were born whole, and nothing in this world can add to or subtract from the radiance that is your birthright. What is it then to live as the embodiment of your dreams? It is to walk the world as if you are already home. It is to greet each moment with reverence, to see each challenge as a doorway, each encounter as a mirror. It is to act not from a place of lack or longing, but from fullness, from the overflowing wellspring of love and creativity that is your essence. When you are rooted in being, action flows not as effort, but as expression. You speak not to be heard, but to share the truth blossoming in your heart. You create not to prove yourself, but because beauty longs to pour through you into the world. You serve not for recognition, but for the joy of remembering your oneness with all of life. You begin to see with the eyes of spirit that there is nothing to chase, nothing to fix, nothing to become. You are not here to escape your humanity, but to sanctify it. Every joy, every sorrow, every longing, every silence is an invitation to reveal the dream that lives at the center of your being. And what of the obstacles, the doubts, the fears, the old wounds that rise like shadows on the path? Do not turn away from them. Do not deny them. They are not the enemy, but the guardians of your becoming. Each pain is a messenger, each ache a doorway, each moment of darkness an invitation to bring the light of your presence. The lotus blooms not in spite of the mud, but because of it. So too do your dreams emerge not in the absence of challenge, but through the gentle embrace of all that you are. Let your healing begin not with self-improvement, but with self-acceptance. You are not broken, you are not lacking, you are the living evidence of a creative intelligence that makes no mistakes. The miracle is not in changing who you are, it is in allowing who you are to be seen, to be felt, to be lived. When you live from this place, your very being becomes a prayer, your breath a song of remembrance, your life a testimony to the sacredness of being alive. Forgive the past not as an act of will, but as an act of love. Release the need to carry what no longer serves. Every moment is a blank canvas, every breath an invitation to begin again. When you forgive, you unbind yourself from the chains of yesterday and step into the endless possibility of now. Freedom is not found in rewriting the story, but in awakening to the truth that you are the author. This is the path of true power, not the power to control, to dominate, to acquire, but the power to allow, to yield, to trust. It is the power of the seed that cracks open in darkness, surrendering to the mystery so that something new can be born. It is the power of surrender, the soft resilience that carries you through every storm and reveals the strength that has always been yours. In this space of deep acceptance, the distinction between dreamer and dream dissolves. You are not separate from your vision. You are not a beggar at the gates of destiny. You are the gate. You are the destiny. You are the dream made flesh. As you align with this truth, you become a living magnet, not through force, but through resonance. You no longer chase what you desire. You attract it, for you have become it. Consider the rose. She does not strive to be seen. She simply opens, and her fragrance becomes her offering to the world. So too do you become most powerful, most radiant, most free when you simply allow yourself to be. In the light of such authenticity, all resistance melts, all masks fall, and the dream you have carried quietly in your heart rises to greet you, not as a stranger, but as the truest expression of who you are. The world may tell you to be practical, to lower your expectations, to shrink your vision to fit the confines of the possible. But I ask you, what is more practical than living in alignment with the deepest truth of your being? What is more powerful than embodying the love, the joy, the peace, the wisdom that you came here to remember? When you walk as the embodiment of your dreams, you become a lighthouse in a world that has forgotten its way. You need not shout your truth to be heard. You need not defend your dreams to be worthy of them. The world will mirror back to you whatever frequency you hold. When you radiate the energy of wholeness, of peace, of fulfilled longing, the world softens in your presence. Relationships heal, doors open. The very fabric of reality rearranges itself to reflect the truth you carry within. And when difficulties arise, as they will meet them with the calm gaze of awareness, know that nothing that comes from the outside can touch the essence of who you are. You are not your circumstances. You are the awareness in which all circumstances arise. You are not your thoughts, your emotions, your story. You are the stillness beneath the storm, the peace at the heart of the fire, the love that remains when all else falls away. It is here, in this place of pure being, that your greatest power is revealed, the power to create not from fear, but from love, the power to heal not through struggle, but through surrender, the power to change the world not by conquering it, but by embodying the dream that the world has forgotten, the dream of unity, of compassion, of infinite possibility. The spiritual teachers who have walked before you, Jesus, Lao Tzu, Rumi, the Buddha, all spoke the same truth in different tongues. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The treasure is buried in the field of your own heart. What you seek is already here, already yours, waiting only for your recognition. Let this recognition be your awakening. Let it be the dawn that breaks the spell of separation, the morning that dissolves the illusion of lack. You are not separate from the source of life. You are an expression of it. The same intelligence that orchestrates the stars breathes through you, loves through you, dreams through you. When you know this, not as an idea, but as a lived experience, fear dissolves and only love remains. And so, beloved, let yourself be lived by the dream that chose you. Let your life be a song of remembrance, a dance of surrender, a work of art painted in the colors of truth. The world does not need another imitator, another echo, another copy. The world needs you, your essence, your uniqueness, your willingness to embody the dream that only you can dream. You are the answer you have been seeking. You are the miracle you have been waiting for. Every longing is the soul's invitation to remember. Every ache is a call to return. Every dream is a summons to be what you already are, whole, radiant, divine. Let go now of the need to figure it all out. Let go of the illusion that you must earn your way into worthiness. Trust the unfolding. Trust the intelligence that guides the birds, that turns the seasons, that spins the galaxies and beats your heart. You are not separate from this intelligence. You are it. Let your mind be still, like a lake reflecting the sky. In that stillness, the truth becomes clear. You are not here to chase the light. You are here to realize you are the light. Every thought, every feeling, every moment of confusion is but a cloud passing across the vast sky of your being. Do not cling to the clouds. Rest in the sky. As you begin to live from this space of remembrance, miracles become ordinary, and the ordinary becomes miraculous. You begin to see the sacred in the simple, the holy in the humble, the divine in the details. Every act becomes an expression of love, every word a ripple in the ocean of consciousness, every breath a prayer of gratitude for the privilege of being alive. The embodiment of your dreams is not a destination to reach, but a state to allow. It is the letting go of resistance, the softening of striving, the acceptance of your own enoughness. It is the realization that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the belief that you are separate from them. Release that belief now. Let it dissolve in the light of your awareness. Let it fall away like old leaves from a tree in autumn, making way for the new growth, the new possibility, the new life that is already rising within you. Stand tall in the truth of who you are, rooted, open, unwavering. Let your dreams blossom not from effort but from alignment. Let your life become a living prayer, a testament to the beauty of being human and divine. This is the invitation, the promise, the possibility. You are not here to become the embodiment of your dreams. You are here to remember that you already are. Breathe this in. Let it fill every cell of your body, every corner of your mind, every shadow of your heart. You are enough. You are whole. You are already home. And when the world forgets, when the voices of doubt, of fear, of comparison rise up like storms on the horizon, return to this truth. Return to the silence within, the stillness beneath, the love that cannot be shaken by any circumstance. This is your anchor. This is your home. This is the dream embodied. You have not come here to follow a path laid by others. You have come to blaze your own trail, guided by the inner compass of your soul. Do not be afraid to walk alone for a time. The greatest dreams are not always understood at first. But trust that as you embody your truth, you will find your tribe, your resonance, your reflection in the eyes of those who see you as you truly are. You are not your wounds. You are not your doubts. You are not your history, your reputation, your reflection in the eyes of others. You are the awareness in which all these pass. You are the love that survives every disappointment, the hope that rises after every fall, the joy that blooms for no reason at all. Let yourself be seen not as perfect but as real. Let yourself be felt not as invulnerable but as open. Let yourself be known not as an idea but as a living presence. This is the embodiment of your dreams. To live as if you are already the miracle you seek, to love as if you are already whole, to serve as if the world is already healed. And when you falter, when you forget, when you fall into the old patterns of striving and doubt, do not judge yourself. Simply return. Return to the breath. Return to the silence. Return to the awareness that you are not the storm but the sky, that you are not the journey but the presence in which the journey unfolds. The world will change as you change, not through force but through frequency. Not by what you do but by who you are. Your presence is your gift. Your being is your offering. Your life is your message. So walk gently, speak kindly, dream boldly, and above all, remember, you are already the embodiment of your dreams. The only task left is to live it, to breathe it, to let it shine through you in every moment, every encounter, every act of love. This is your time. This is your calling. This is your homecoming. Let it be so. And as you move with this remembrance, allow the quiet wisdom within you to emerge, gentle as dawn and vast as the open sky. There is a subtle grace in honoring the present moment, not as a stepping stone to somewhere else, but as the very garden in which your soul blossoms. In this spacious now, the need for hurry dissolves, and every heartbeat becomes a verse in the poetry of your existence. You begin to realize that life itself is not a problem to solve or a mountain to conquer, but an unfolding mystery to be experienced with reverence and wonder. The sacred pulse that animates the world is the same rhythm echoing in your chest, guiding you without words toward what is most true, most real, most deeply yours. Let the old architecture of striving fall away, brick by brick. Notice how the walls you once built to protect your dreams have become the very barriers that obscure them. You no longer need the armor of pretense or the shield of comparison. Naked in your authenticity, you become radiant, luminous, a beacon for those still wandering in their own fog of forgetting. You do not lead by example, but by presence, not by perfection, but by the honesty of your becoming. In this openness, you rediscover the freedom to feel, to risk, to try, to falter, and to rise again, always closer to the center of your own light. Listen closely to the language of your own life, for every encounter, every joy, every heartbreak, every silence carries a message. The universe is not random in its gifts or its challenges. It is a wise and loving teacher, shaping you through both laughter and loss, blessing you with reminders that the only path worth walking is the one that brings you deeper into yourself. Your dreams are not static images painted on the wall of your imagination. They are living, breathing invitations, evolving as you evolve, growing as you grow, asking you not for relentless effort, but for deeper surrender. When you awaken to this truth, fear becomes a gentle guide rather than a tyrant. Doubt turns from adversary to ally, simply pointing you toward places where greater trust is needed. Each shadow is but a reminder that light is never far. You realize there is no finish line, no final achievement that will at last permit you to feel complete. The fulfillment you seek has always been woven into the process, into the sacred choreography of opening, closing, grieving, loving, letting go, and receiving. Allow yourself to rest in the arms of the unknown, for it is only in not knowing that you become truly available to grace. The divine does not shout from the mountaintop, but whispers from the stillness within. Rumi wrote, "There is a field beyond all ideas of right and wrong. I'll meet you there." And it is in that field, beyond judgment, beyond expectation, that your dreams come alive, unburdened by the need to prove or to please. You become, in this sacred space, a vessel for something greater than yourself, an instrument for the music that has always longed to play through you. If you wish to see the miraculous, learn to bless the ordinary. Wash the dishes with awareness, and they shine with sacred purpose. Listen deeply to a friend, and you become the presence that heals without words. Walk in the world as if every step is a prayer, every glance a benediction, every breath a renewal of your commitment to embody all that is highest and truest within you. You do not need to wait for life to align perfectly. You need only to align yourself with life just as it is, and in that alignment, everything transforms. You may find that old wounds resurface as you travel this path. Rather than running, invite them to sit beside you, for they have come bearing gifts. Every wound is a window, every scar a passageway to deeper compassion. It is in embracing your own vulnerability that you awaken the capacity to hold the pain of the world without becoming lost in it. Compassion grows not from a life untouched by sorrow, but from a heart made spacious by acceptance. Let your tears water the seeds of new beginnings, and let your laughter be the sunlight that coaxes those seeds to life. There will be moments when silence is your greatest teacher. In the hush between thoughts, in the pause between breaths, in the stillness before dawn, you will encounter a wisdom that cannot be taught but only remembered. Here, words become unnecessary. The language of the soul is one of presence, of intimacy with the now, of a love so deep it asks for nothing in return. In this silent communion, you realize that you are both the question and the answer, both the longing and the fulfillment. Release the notion that you must earn your place in this world. Your existence is your permission. The divine has spoken its yes over your life simply by bringing you into being. The trees do not audition for worthiness. The stars do not compete for brilliance. So too, you are enough by nature, by birth, by right. Any voice that says otherwise is a phantom, a passing cloud that cannot obscure the sun forever. Trust, even when the way is unclear, that you are supported by an intelligence far greater than your understanding. Surrender is not defeat, it is the ultimate act of trust, the leap into the arms of a love that cannot fail. Let gratitude be your constant companion. Not a rote recitation, but a living awareness of the gifts hidden in every moment. The smallest joys, the warmth of sunlight, the softness of rain, the smile of a stranger become reminders of the abundance that surrounds you. In this state of appreciation, your energy shifts. You cease to be a beggar at the table of life and become a guest at the feast. What you bless grows. What you celebrate multiplies. Let your life be an offering of thanks, not for what you will receive, but for the miracle of what you already are. When the world invites you into its drama, its chaos, its endless chase for more, return to your center. Anchor yourself in the knowing that you are not the wave tossed by the storm, but the ocean itself, calm, vast, and untroubled at depth. You have nothing to prove, nothing to defend, nothing to achieve that can add to the fullness of your being. You are the presence in which all things appear and disappear, the awareness that watches the dance of creation with gentle eyes. In the end, the embodiment of your dreams is not a future event, but a present reality. It is not a title to be won, but a truth to be lived. Every breath is a new beginning, every moment a chance to return to yourself, to remember the sacredness of being alive, to choose love over fear, trust over doubt, presence over absence. So let your journey be a holy adventure, guided not by the maps of others, but by the compass of your own soul. Move through the world as if it is your home, as if you belong, because you do. Walk with humility, speak with kindness, create with courage, and rest in the assurance that you are already the embodiment of the dream that brought you here. There is nothing left to chase, beloved. Only everything to welcome, everything to become, everything to remember. Let your life be the living answer to the longing within you, a daily affirmation that the miracle you sought was always, only, and ever yourself. And so you arrive quietly, wholly, at the sacred threshold where the inner and outer worlds dissolve into one, the place where longing becomes fulfillment, where striving gives way to surrender, where the silent presence within you at last takes its rightful seat as the author of your days. It is here, in this luminous stillness, that you see with new eyes. The old boundaries fall away, the weary costumes of expectation are released, and you stand unadorned, transparent to your own radiance, unburdened by the weight of becoming. Allow yourself now to settle into the softness of your being. Feel how life gathers itself through you, not for applause or approval, but for the sheer joy of expression. Each breath is a gentle reminder. You are not here to race against time or to prove your worth to a world too distracted to notice the miracle of your existence. You are here for the holy ordinariness of being, each heartbeat a testament, each thought a ripple in eternity, each moment a shimmering thread in the tapestry of the infinite. Let the mind grow silent as the ocean at dawn, and this vast, quiet old wounds loosen their hold. You are no longer haunted by the echoes of yesterday or the distant siren of tomorrow. You abide in the profound intimacy of now, the space where dreams and reality touch, where love and truth are no longer separate, and where your soul, at peace at last, remembers its eternal nature. The divine is not a distant fire to chase, but the very light that shines behind your eyes, the warmth that pulses in your hands, the invisible presence that listens when all words fall away. Release even the idea of a destination. You were never meant to arrive, only to awaken, only to remember, only to open yourself more and more to the miracle unfolding as your life. The trees do not hurry to leaf or to flower. The moon does not rush to fullness. There is a rhythm that governs all things, and you, beloved, are already in perfect step with it when you surrender to your own truth. Rest then in the gentle wisdom that who you are is always enough, that what you are becoming is simply the revelation of what has always been. If sorrow comes, greet it as an old friend. If joy rises, let it move through you like sunlight on water. Do not cling to one nor push the other away. You are the field in which both are welcome, the sky spacious enough for every weather, the witness unshaken by passing storms. In this openness, life flows through you, unresisted, unguarded, pure. The world may continue to whirl in its pursuit of meaning, but you, rooted in presence, become a silent invitation for others to remember themselves. You need not teach with words. Your life, lived in authenticity, is the greatest teaching of all. In your willingness to be exactly as you are, you grant others the freedom to lay down their masks, to shed their armor, to return home to the simple miracle of being. You are not a dream in waiting. You are the dream fulfilled. You are not a seeker in exile. You are the sanctuary itself. You are not apart from the love you desire, nor separate from the peace you seek. The light you look for is the light that looks through your eyes. Beauty you long for is the beauty that breathes you into existence, moment by moment, breath by breath. Let your life be an unspoken prayer, a continuous, wordless gratitude. Walk softly upon this earth, knowing the ground beneath your feet has waited for eons to feel your presence. Touch each life you encounter with gentleness, and let your kindness ripple out into the world like rain falling upon thirsty soil. There is no greater miracle than a heart awakened to itself, no higher achievement than to live each day as a living proof of love's reality. And when you meet your own reflection in the stillness, smile. Smile at the one who searched, who suffered, who dared to hope, who finally surrendered. Smile at the journey, the losses and the blessings, the heartbreaks and the healings, all of which have brought you to this undivided moment. There is no regret in this space, only a quiet awe at the wonder of having traveled so far, only to find yourself home. Let this homecoming be your offering, your legacy, your gift to the world. For in your willingness to simply be, you bless all creation. In your remembrance, the world remembers. In your presence, the world is healed. So, remain soft, remain true, remain awake, for you are not here to become anything. You are here to embody everything that you have always been: pure, powerful, unrepeatable, whole. In this final silence, let it be known, the dream was never elsewhere, it was always you. And you, beloved, are the embodiment of your dreams. There will come a moment, perhaps now, in the gentle hush between heartbeats, when your soul feels a longing that cannot be named. It does not arrive with fanfare or drama, but softly, like the first rays of dawn, spilling gold across a silent landscape. In that tender moment when the old stories fall away and the world grows quiet, you may notice a subtle current running through everything. A quiet invitation not to strive, not to flee, but simply to feel. This is the beginning, the silent threshold of awakening, where you realize that to truly live, you must learn to feel it now. Close your eyes, if you wish, and turn inward. Let the noise settle. Let the expectations dissolve like mist in morning sunlight. Breathe deeply and notice, beneath every thought, behind every desire, there is a wellspring of presence, steady, unshakable, eternal. The sages and poets, the mystics and prophets, all pointed toward this same sacred river. Lao Tzu called it the Tao. Jesus named it the kingdom within. And Rumi sang of it as the beloved hiding in plain sight. But all their words, no matter how luminous, are but fingers pointing to the moon. The moon itself, the living reality, can only be found by entering into this moment and feeling it, truly feeling it now. You have been taught to look ahead toward goals, toward healing, toward some future version of yourself. The world, in its restlessness, whispers that happiness waits just beyond the horizon, that peace is something to be earned, that love is conditional upon your perfection. Yet these are only shadows on the wall of a cave you were never meant to inhabit. The truth is not hidden in the distance. It is not waiting for you to become someone else. It is already present in the ground beneath your feet and the air that moves through your lungs. It is in the gentle rise and fall of your chest, in the quiet certainty of your own being. Feel it now. You are not your past. The stories you have told yourself, the victories and wounds, the regrets and longings are but passing clouds in an infinite sky. You are not your achievements, nor your failures. You are not the face in the mirror, nor the names you've collected, nor the masks you have worn to please a world that has forgotten its own divinity. You are the one who sees it all. You are the witness, the timeless awareness in which every joy and sorrow arises and dissolves. Like the ocean, undisturbed by the waves above, your true nature remains untouched, always whole, always enough. So much of your suffering, beloved soul, comes not from what is, but from your resistance to what is. The mind, restless and clever, weaves stories of how things should be different, better, safer. It clings to the past, rehearses the future, and calls this vigilance survival. But the soul knows another way. The soul does not strive. The soul does not chase. The soul simply is, radiant and unmoving, a silent flame that burns in every heart. When you surrender the argument with reality and rest in what is, you discover a peace that cannot be given or taken away. It was never lost. It was only hidden by the noise of becoming. Feel it now. Feel the aliveness in your hands, the pulse in your veins, the silent intelligence that animates your every cell. This body is not just matter, it is a miracle. Every breath you take is a symphony. Every sensation, a reminder of the sacred. Do not wait for perfect conditions to awaken. Do not postpone your arrival at the feast of the present. The invitation has always been in your pocket, written in the script of your soul. Come home to your senses. Come home to the now. There is a place within you that cannot be hurt, cannot be diminished, cannot be touched by the storms of circumstance. It is your essence, spacious, aware, free. The world may demand that you harden, but your spirit is soft, receptive, open. The world may reward the mask, but your joy comes from dropping it. True strength is not in armoring the heart, but in revealing it moment by moment to the rawness of life as it unfolds. When you feel deeply, when you open fully, you become a conduit for grace itself. Healing begins when you turn toward your pain, not with resistance, but with loving curiosity. Every wound is a doorway, every sorrow a guide. The heart does not need to be protected from feeling, it needs to be liberated into feeling, for it is in feeling that you meet yourself. The tears you have held back for years are sacred waters, cleansing the soul, reminding you that there is nothing broken in you, only places longing to be seen, to be felt, to be embraced as part of the whole. Let go now of the need to understand everything. Let go of the need to be understood. There's a wisdom deeper than thought, an intelligence beyond reason. It is the voice that whispers in stillness, the intuition that nudges you gently, the knowing that needs no proof. Trust that. Listen to that. The mind will always ask for guarantees, but the soul asks only for your presence. Feel it now, the aliveness, the mystery, the presence that you are. Every spiritual tradition, at its core, points to the same truth. Salvation is not elsewhere. Enlightenment is not a future event. The kingdom of heaven is spread out upon the earth, but men do not see it. Why? Because we are busy searching for what can only be found by stopping, by opening, by allowing. There is nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, no future state that will make you more whole than you are in this breath. You are not on a journey to become, you are on a journey to remember. Remember the innocence with which you entered this world, the wonder, the curiosity, the unguarded joy. That purity is not gone. It is only buried beneath layers of should and must and not enough. But like a spring beneath the snow, it waits for your return. Feel it now. Peel back the layers, not with force, but with gentleness. Each moment you allow yourself to be as you are, without judgment or resistance, you water the roots of your own being. You awaken the sacred seed planted in you by eternity itself. You are already home. The search ends when you realize there is nothing to find but the present. The present is the only place where life happens, where healing happens, where love is possible. You cannot feel tomorrow. You cannot touch yesterday. You can only awaken to now. And what is now? Now is the eternal, unchanging backdrop to all experience. Now is the field in which thoughts arise, sensations dance, emotions bloom and wither. Now is not a fleeting second on the clock. It is the dimension in which you truly exist. When you enter the now, you enter the timeless. You discover the still point around which the world turns, the silent center from which all action flows. Feel it now, the simplicity, the depth, the richness of being. No striving, no fixing, no becoming, just being. The mind will try to complicate it, to analyze, to control. But the heart knows. The heart recognizes itself in the rhythm of the present. When you live from this place, every action becomes a prayer, every word a blessing, every encounter an invitation to awaken further. Release the ego, that clever architect of separation. The ego is not an enemy, but a faithful servant who has forgotten its place. It builds identities, clings to opinions, feeds on comparison and fear. But you are not the ego's creation. You are the open sky in which the ego's weather comes and goes. You are the silent watcher, the unchanging witness. As you begin to feel this truth, not as an idea, but as a living reality, your suffering loosens its grip. You are no longer the character in the story, but the space in which the story unfolds. Freedom comes when you stop identifying with the fleeting and rest in the eternal. You do not need to annihilate the ego, only to see through its illusions. The more you rest in presence, the more the ego dissolves like a shadow before the rising Sunday, and what remains is love. Love not as an emotion, but as the fabric of reality. Love not as a transaction, but as your deepest nature. Feel it now, the quiet, unwavering love that holds you even when you forget, even when you fall. Your true identity is not personal, it is universal. You are not just a person living a life, you are life itself, appearing as a person for a little while. The ocean does not fear the wave, for it knows the wave is only a temporary form. You are the ocean, vast, deep, infinite, taking this particular shape for a season. To awaken is to remember this. I am not just this body, this story, this mind. I am the consciousness in which all bodies, stories, and minds arise. Do not fear the emptiness. Do not resist the silence. These are not voids, but portals. In the silence, you meet yourself. In the emptiness, you find fullness. The soul speaks not in noise, but in stillness. If you want to know who you are, be still, listen, feel. Feel it now. You are enough. You have always been enough. No achievement, no accolade, no amount of approval can add to your essence. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not a prize at the end of a race. It is the ground upon which you walk, the air you breathe, the very fact of your existence. You are worthy because you are. There will be days when you forget. Days when the old voices grow loud, when the world's demands feel heavy, when the heart aches with the weight of unspoken longing. On those days, return to the breath. Return to the now. Place your hand over your heart and remember, I am here, I am alive, I am enough. The journey is not about becoming better. It is about becoming real, becoming fully yourself. Not the self that performs for acceptance, but the self that is at ease in its own skin. The self that loves without reason, gives without calculation, receives without guilt. This is your original face, your birthright, your homecoming. Feel it now, the freedom of being. The freedom to let go of striving, to release the armor, to stand unguarded before life. You do not need to earn your place in existence. You do not need to apologize for your humanity. Every flaw, every quirk, every tenderness is an expression of the infinite wearing your name for a while. Let yourself be moved. Let yourself be touched by the beauty and pain of living. To feel is not weakness, it is strength. It is what connects you to everything, what binds you to the great web of life. The flower does not resist the sun, it opens. The river does not hold back its song, it flows. You too are meant to open, to flow, to feel. When you feel fully, you heal. Not because the pain disappears, but because you no longer contract around it. You allow it to move through you, to teach you, to transform you. The wound becomes the womb of awakening. The darkness becomes the canvas for new light. The places you most want to avoid hold the key to your freedom, if only you will feel them now. This is the pathless path, the wayless way. It cannot be mapped or taught or possessed. It can only be lived, moment by moment, breath by breath. There are no rules, no formulas, no 10 steps to enlightenment. There is only this: stop, be still, feel what is here. Trust what arises, let life have you. You are not here to fix the world. You are here to awaken to your own aliveness, and in doing so, become a living invitation for others to do the same. Your greatest gift to the world is not your perfection, but your presence. Not your achievements, but your authenticity. Not your certainty, but your willingness to feel, to not know, to be vulnerable and real. Feel it now, the interconnectedness of all things. The breath you take was exhaled by trees. The water in your veins once danced in ancient seas. The atoms in your body were forged in stars. You are not separate. You are not alone. The web of life is intimate, intricate, holy. When you remember this, compassion arises naturally. You cannot harm another without harming yourself. You cannot heal yourself without healing the world. Let your heart be broken open. Let your defenses fall away. The world does not need more protected hearts. It needs hearts that are willing to be pierced by beauty and truth, by sorrow and love. Only an open heart can be filled. Only an open heart can heal. There is nothing you need to do to be loved. There is nothing you need to become to be accepted. The beloved in you is already present, waiting for your recognition. Feel it now, the love that does not depend on conditions, the peace that does not depend on circumstances, the joy that arises simply from being. You are not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. You are not a project, not a puzzle, not a process with an end date. You are an unfolding, a flowering, a dance of energy and light. There is no arrival, only deepening, no finish line, only further intimacy with the now. As you rest in presence, the world transforms. Not because it changes, but because your perception clears. You see through the eyes of the soul, soft, compassionate, forgiving. You understand that everyone is doing their best with the awareness they have. You drop the need to judge, to compare, to compete. You see yourself in every face, recognize your longing in every heart. Feel it now, the unity, the oneness, the seamless tapestry of being. The lines that divide are illusions. The boundaries between self and other are porous, insubstantial. What you give, you receive. What you withhold, you deny yourself. Let love flow through you unimpeded. Let your life be a blessing, not by effort, but by presence. Do not wait for another lifetime to awaken. Do not postpone your joy until the circumstances are perfect. This moment is the doorway. This breath is the key. Open to it. Enter it fully. Let it wash over you, cleanse you, baptize you into the living waters of now. Every teacher, every teaching, every sacred scripture is only a reminder you are already what you seek. You are the peace, the love, the wisdom, the freedom. You do not need to become, you only need to realize, to feel, to embody. Feel it now, the fullness, the grace, the wonder of being alive. Even the challenges, the heartbreaks, the losses are sacred. They are part of the whole, threads in the great tapestry. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost, everything belongs. Release the past, release the future. Let the tide of now sweep you clean. Begin again and again and again. Each moment is a birth, a chance to remember, a chance to return. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are not your story. You are the space in which all these arise and pass away. You are the awareness behind the eyes, the silence between the words, the stillness at the heart of all movement. Feel it now. Let this be the prayer of your life, not to arrive, but to awaken. Not to conquer, but to connect. Not to possess, but to experience. The world is hungry for presence, your presence. The world is longing for authenticity, your authenticity. The world is aching for love, your love. You do not need permission to shine. You do not need validation to exist. The sun does not ask the sky if it is worthy to rise. The moon does not seek approval to glow. They simply are, and in their being, they bless the world. So too you, in your being, you bless. In your presence, you heal. In your willingness to feel it now, you become a light in the darkness, a balm for weary hearts, a reminder of what is possible when we stop hiding, stop striving, stop pretending. Let your life be a living poem written by the hand of the infinite, spoken in the language of now. Let your actions arise from presence, your words flow from love, your silences echo with the truth of your being. There is no greater gift you can give the world than to be fully yourself, awake, alive, unafraid to feel. There is no higher calling than to live as presence, to let the divine move through you, to trust the unfolding, to dance with the mystery. This is the secret, hidden in plain sight. What you have been searching for is already here. The treasure is not at the end of the road, it is in the walking. The answer is not in the future, it is in the feeling. The miracle is not something to chase, it is something to receive. Feel it now. This is your homecoming. This is your liberation. This is your birthright. The journey is simple. Stop, be still, listen, feel. And in the silent sanctuary of the now, remember, you are not separate. You are not lacking. You are not waiting for your life to begin. You are life itself. So feel it all. Let joy and sorrow, hope and fear, peace and longing flow through you as rivers returning to the sea. Let yourself be lived by life, guided by love, held by the mystery that beats your heart and moves the stars. This is your invitation. This is your awakening. This is your freedom. Feel it now. And as you rest deeper into this luminous presence, you may notice a quiet revolution stirring within, a gentle uncoiling, as if the very roots of your being are stretching into sacred ground. With each inhale, the boundaries of self soften. With each exhale, the need to grasp or to name loosens its hold. Life, in its infinite wisdom, reveals that you were never meant to be a fragment, torn, striving, incomplete, but an ever-opening field of awareness where all things find their place. Each sensation, each longing, each fragile hope is welcome here, carried on the current of a boundless spirit that asks only for your yes to this moment. Consider the nature of a river, how it carries fallen leaves and swirling eddies, never clinging, never regretting the stone it cannot move. The river does not agonize over the twists in its path, nor does it shrink from the dark places beneath overhanging roots. It allows, it surrenders. It moves in perfect faith, trusting the unseen ocean that calls every drop home. And so it is with you when you surrender to the flow, when you stop struggling against the tides of your own experience, you rediscover a freedom that is softer than hope and stronger than fear. The old ache to control, to predict, to ensure an outcome falls away, replaced by the deep assurance that what unfolds here in this unfolding now is enough. There is a wisdom that rises only in surrender, a wisdom born not of calculation or intellect, but of the heart's silent willingness to receive. When you listen without agenda, you become a vessel for the guidance that has been waiting for your stillness. A gentle thought, a subtle impulse, a feeling of rightness, it is the divine arranging itself within you one moment at a time. Trust this guidance. Trust the timing that sometimes delays, the detours that gently redirect, the pauses that ask you to wait and grow more aware. Life is not in a hurry, even if your mind is. The oak tree is not impatient to be a forest. It grows by being fully present in each ring, each season, each silent prayer for rain. As you learn to be with what is without recoiling or retreating, you become intimate with your own depths. The wounds you once tried to hide, the fears you armored yourself against, become doorways to a greater tenderness. To feel fully is not to drown, but to discover that you are vast enough to contain both pain and joy, both loss and new beginnings. Your capacity for presence is the greatest miracle. It is the ground where forgiveness flowers, where peace gathers, where compassion blossoms without effort. Notice now the subtle music beneath all things, the steady hum that has accompanied you since the first breath. It is the song of being, older than memory, quieter than thought. When you allow yourself to rest in this sacred hum, the anxieties that once clamored for your attention begin to dissolve as fog yields to the rising Sunday. This is not the forced peace of denial, but the unforced grace of recognition. You remember yourself not as a collection of moments, but as the timeless presence through which all moments pass. In this space, gratitude emerges not as a discipline, but as a spontaneous celebration. You find yourself marveling at the ordinary, the way light slants through the window, the quiet patience of trees, the laughter that bubbles up unexpectedly in the presence of a friend. You realize that the miracle is not in some distant achievement, but in your capacity to meet each moment with openness. The world is transformed, not because its nature has changed, but because your eyes have cleared, your heart has unshuttered. Allow yourself to be surprised by how much gentleness lives in you. Let go of the old narratives that cast you as adversary to yourself, forever striving, forever lacking. The one who breathes you is not measuring your worth. The one who loves you from within knows only wholeness. And as you surrender your defenses, you begin to see this same wholeness reflected in every soul you meet. The boundaries between self and other become translucent, and compassion flows as naturally as breath. It is here, in this boundless compassion, that forgiveness arises not as a duty, but as a byproduct of deep seeing. To forgive is not to excuse or forget, but to recognize the innocence beneath all error, the longing for love beneath all harm. You discover that what you resist in others is often a reflection of what you have not yet blessed within yourself. By turning inward and extending mercy to every exiled part of your being, you set both yourself and the world free. There is no need to rush your unfolding. The flower does not bloom by force, nor does it chastise itself for unfurling one petal at a time. Every stage of your journey is sacred, every stumble an invitation to return to kindness. You are being shaped not by circumstance, but by your willingness to meet each moment as it comes. The more you open to the now, the more you realize that your life is not happening to you, it is happening for you, through you, as you. Let your breath be the bridge to this miracle. With each inhale, receive what is given. With each exhale, release what is no longer needed. In the rhythm of breathing, you touch eternity, you taste the divine, you remember the source from which you came. And so, walk gently through this day, trusting that you are always guided, always held. Let your heart be an altar upon which every joy and sorrow is laid. Allow yourself to be lived by the great mystery that is forever pouring itself into form, forever calling you home, not to a destination, but to the infinite spaciousness of now. Let every step be a blessing, every word a prayer, every silence a return. And as you live this way, without striving, without clinging, you become the very presence you once sought. You become the invitation for others to feel it too now. There is a quiet sanctity in simply being here, letting the breath move as it will, letting the heart speak in its native language of wonder. The winds of longing, the tides of memory, the pull of tomorrows, they dissolve softly in this gentle return. You become aware, as if for the first time, that the very space in which you sit is sacred, that every cell, every heartbeat, every silent urge to love and be loved is woven from the same fabric as the stars. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are standing at the doorway of eternity, already inside. Feel now how the mind grows quiet in the presence of truth, how all the plans and fears that once seemed so important now bow before something vaster, something wordless and whole. The world with all its noise and movement recedes for a moment, and you recognize yourself not as a separate fragment, but as the original note in the great symphony, the silent witness, the smile behind your thoughts. You are no longer looking out from behind a mask. You are looking with the eyes of the soul, seeing not objects but essences, not differences but the shimmer of unity behind all forms. Allow this awareness to deepen like a pebble falling into a still pond, sending ripples to the very edges of your being. In this silence, all questions are answered. In this presence, all wounds are embraced. There is nothing left to chase, nothing left to fear, nothing left to lose, for you cannot lose what you are, you cannot lack what you are made of. The river does not run out of water, the flame does not run out of light, and the soul does not run out of love. Let yourself be lifted, as a leaf is lifted by the breeze, trusting the currents that carry you through each season of life. When the world grows heavy, return to the breath. When the heart aches with longing, return to the breath. When words fall short, return to the living pulse that unites all things. For here, in this holy inhalation and exhalation, you meet the source that has never left your side. You remember that you are not the seeker, but the sought, not the wanderer, but the home, not the prayer, but the answer. Let the old burdens be set down, one by one, every not enough, every anxious grasp, every echo of a past that no longer claims you. Let the future be free to unfold, unshaped by worry, untouched by old fears. The only thing asked of you is presence. The only thing required is surrender. When you surrender, not as defeat, but as an opening like a flower to the sun, you step into the flow of grace that has always been here, waiting for you to say yes. Here's where true healing happens, quietly, without struggle or striving. Here, you discover that what you thought was emptiness is really fullness. What you thought was silence is alive with wisdom. What you thought was the end is really a beginning. There is no path to walk, for you are the path. There is no love to earn, for you are the love. There is nothing outside you to find, for you are the very treasure you have been seeking. Let this knowing fill you without boundaries, without hesitation, like sunlight pouring through open windows. Allow every thought to pass as a cloud, every feeling as a wave. You are the sky, vast and unwavering. You are the ocean, deep and unfathomable in your presence. All things are held, all things are blessed, all things are allowed to be just as they are. Walk gently, beloved, and let your life be the silent teaching. Let your peace ripple out, touching those who are weary, reminding them of what is possible when we remember our true home. When you meet others, see not their defenses, but their divine longing. Speak not to persuade, but to awaken. Love not as an act, but as your natural fragrance, the effortless scent of a soul unguarded, unafraid, utterly alive. For in this final return, this sacred surrender to the now, you discover that there are no more steps to take, no more secrets to unlock, no more distance to travel. You are already what you hope to become. You are already the miracle. You are already the light that dawns silently behind every shadow, the answer that has always lived beneath every question, the presence that blesses all things with its silent, loving gaze. Let yourself rest, at last, in the truth that you are complete, you are home, you are free. Feel it now.
There is a great illusion that quietly governs so many lives. A silent myth we inherit, not through conscious choice, but through the habitual repetition of thought. And that myth is this, that the past, the wake behind us, somehow determines where we are headed. That the trail we leave, the mistakes we've made, the wounds we carry, the identities we've assumed, these are the engines of our future. But let us begin this moment, this breath, with a radical truth. The wake does not drive the boat. Close your eyes if you can. Feel the energy of that statement, not just with your ears, but with your being. The wake is nothing more than a trail of disturbed water. It is the evidence of where you've been, not the force that carries you forward. The engine is now, the rudder is choice, and the sea ahead is untouched, limitless, unconcerned with what lies behind. The ego, however, lives in reverse. It worships history. It tells you that who you were is who you must be. It reminds you again and again of what hurt, what failed, what was said, what was done, and it sells you the lie that these echoes determine your destiny. But the soul, the soul is not interested in echoes. The soul speaks in whispers of potential, not the noise of regret. It nudges you forward, always forward, never backward. You are not your story. You are not your name. You are not your wounds. You are not the patterns of your parents, nor the failures of your youth. You are not your mistakes, nor are you your achievements. You are not even your thoughts. You are the awareness behind it, all the vast, infinite presence that watches the play of memory without becoming it. We must awaken to this. No amount of looking behind you will ever steer you forward. No amount of regret will ever open the gates of freedom. You are here now. And this moment, this sacred, unrepeatable now, is your access point to power. The divine does not live in your memories. The divine lives in the aliveness of presence. Let go of the identity that was constructed from the past. It is not your truth. It is merely a shell, a costume, a temporary role played in the theater of time. You are not here to repeat scenes. You are here to awaken, to remember the eternal, changeless spirit that you are, to return to the knowing that you are more than the circumstances you've survived. Imagine a boat gliding across the water, behind it, a churning white trail. That is the wake, chaotic, visible, but utterly powerless to move the vessel forward. If you were to ask, what makes the boat move? Would you point to the wake? No. You would point to the engine, and the engine is within you. It is your thoughts, your focus, your choice to return to the present. It is your decision to drop the heavy bags of resentment, blame, and shame, and instead lift your hands to the sky of possibility. And yet, how many of us live as if the wake has control? We say, I can't love fully because I was abandoned. I can't succeed because I failed before. I can't forgive because I was hurt. But hear this, these are not facts. These are decisions dressed as conclusions. And any decision made in fear can be unmade in love. Forgiveness is not for the past. Forgiveness is freedom from it. And when you truly understand that the wake does not drive the boat, you will no longer be chained to what was. You will begin, finally, to live what is. The mind, when left untrained, is like a boat without a captain drifting wherever the winds of memory take it. But your soul, your higher self, is the captain. It is the still point of clarity. And when you surrender the illusion of control, the illusion of certainty, the illusion of being right, something miraculous happens. You begin to glide through life with grace. This is not passivity. This is power. It is the sacred power of surrender, not surrendering to defeat, but surrendering to truth. And the truth is, the past cannot be changed, but your relationship to it can. The past is not your prison. It is your teacher. But you must stop worshiping it as if it is your identity. Release the need to retell the story of your pain. Drop the need to explain your limitations. Let go of being the victim, the struggler, the one who almost made it. These identities are just anchors in the water. The moment you untie from them, you sail. You were never meant to drag your history into every present moment. Life is not asking you to carry your old self. It is asking you to rise, to evolve, to awaken to the beauty that is here, now, always. What if today you stopped rehearsing your regrets? What if today you refuse to be defined by your suffering? What if today you looked at your wake, the broken pieces, the sorrow, the lost time, and you whispered, thank you for the lessons. Now I choose to move on. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is spiritual responsibility. It takes courage to move forward without dragging the past behind you like a worn-out coat. But I promise you, freedom lives on the other side of that release. You cannot sail to a new shore if you are anchored in a harbor of pain. You cannot hear the voice of your soul if you are always listening to the echoes of yesterday. And you cannot create a life of joy if you are addicted to the narrative of suffering. You are not here to be a historian of your wounds. You are here to be a creator of healing, a builder of beauty, a vessel for peace. You are not the storm. You are the ocean, vast, deep, unshaken. Let go of the fear that if you release the past, you'll lose who you are. That fear is a lie. You will not lose yourself. You will meet yourself maybe for the first time. You will meet the self that was never broken, never small, never lacking. The self that existed before the story, before the wound, before the name. That self is not moved by opinion, not confined by time, not disturbed by change. It is divine. It is eternal. And it is you. You've been taught to identify with the marks left by life, the scars, the memories, the bruises of time. But I invite you now to shift your gaze. Look not at what happened, but at what is emerging. The wake is gone, the present is alive, and your soul is ready. You can choose to live with the engine of your awareness fully ignited, charting a course that is not dictated by fear, but inspired by love. Or you can keep looking behind you, hoping that certainty lies in the familiar. But hear me now. What is familiar is not always what is true. And what is true is that you are free. You are free to release the guilt, free to forgive yourself, free to step out of the costume you've worn for so long and say, I am ready to return to the truth of who I am. And who you are is not the wake, it is the wave, it is the wind, it is the witness to it all. Do you know what the wake truly represents? It is not only your past actions, it is also your past reactions, your interpretations, your judgments, your internal dialogues about what occurred. The past is not just what happened, it's what you told yourself about what happened. And that narrative is what keeps so many souls bound to sorrow. But here's a powerful truth. Interpretations can be changed, and when they are, the emotional chain to the past dissolves. You can look back and see betrayal, or you can look back and see the unraveling of illusions. You can see rejection, or you can see redirection. You can see failure, or you can see refinement. This is not delusion, it is perception infused with wisdom. It is choosing to see with the eyes of the soul rather than the lens of the ego. The ego clings to wounds as proof of identity, but the soul sees every event as a stepping stone, not a gravestone. We are not here to preserve the past. We are here to be transformed by the now. There's a moment, subtle but holy, when you realize you can drop the rope that's tied to that thing someone said, that event that didn't go as planned, that year you lost yourself, that version of you who didn't know better. You can drop the rope, and you will not fall. You will float, you will rise. It is your clinging that weighs you down, not the past itself. The past is done, the moment has passed. But the clinging, the retelling, the recycling, that is what creates the heaviness. So the question becomes, are you willing to travel light? Are you willing to walk into this new moment without dragging every yesterday behind you like a sack of broken mirrors? Are you willing to speak to your own heart and say, I forgive you, not because you did everything right, but because I no longer want to live in punishment? Forgiveness is not weak. Forgiveness is the highest expression of spiritual strength. It is the power to say, I remember, but I no longer suffer. It is the ability to step into your life without the story dragging at your heels. It is looking into the eyes of your reflection and seeing someone who has grown, not someone who has failed. If the wake does not drive the boat, then let us stop looking behind us when we steer. Let us stop consulting old pain for new direction. Let us stop returning to the scene of the wound and calling it home. The soul lives in forward motion. The soul does not repeat. It evolves. It flows like a river that does not apologize for its path. It does not ask permission to continue. It simply follows the pull of gravity, the gravity of truth, and that gravity is pulling you now away from fear, away from shame, away from blame, and toward the infinite sea of who you truly are. Can you feel that pull? It's quiet, It's not the loud voice that says you should have known better or you'll never be enough. That's the voice of the conditioned mind. The voice of old programming, the voice that got its instructions from a society more invested in conformity than consciousness. The real voice, the voice of the self, does not shout. It whispers. It says, you are already free. You just have to stop telling the story of why you're not. There is no salvation in the story. There is only freedom in the surrender. Let go. Not in theory, not as an idea, but in this moment, right now, breathe in, let go of who you were. Breathe out, let go of who they were. Let it all dissolve like mist in morning light. The moment you let go, you are reborn. The moment you choose to bless the wake instead of curse it, you begin to rise. Because the wake has no more power over you than you give it. You are not a victim of your history. You are the creator of your destiny. But destiny is not written in memory, it is written in movement. And movement requires release. Release the need to understand everything that happened. The ego is obsessed with explanation. It wants to know why they left, why you failed, why it broke, why it didn't go as planned. But the soul knows that healing is not an equation. It's a letting go. It's a softening. It's a return to the now. Do you want to heal? Then stop rehearsing. Stop reliving. Stop waiting for closure from people who were never meant to complete you. Stop needing to know all the reasons. Life is not a courtroom. You are not on trial. You are free to walk out of the prison even if no one explains why you were locked up. Let go. Let go not because it erases what happened, but because it restores who you are. And who are you? You are awareness. You are peace. You are the witness of this moment. You are the presence that sees without judging, that loves without clinging, that breathes without resisting. You are not the character in the storm. You are the sky in which the storm happens. All pain is a resistance to the now. All suffering is a belief that this moment should be different. But when you stop resisting, the suffering ends. When you stop telling life it should have been another way, peace begins. This is the paradox. You gain control by letting go. You move forward by releasing. You arrive by no longer needing to arrive. You become whole by no longer seeking completion. There is nothing to fix. There is only something to remember. And what you must remember is that the wake is just water. It is not your identity. It is not your future. It is not your truth. You are the boat. You are the wind. You are the wave. And you are the captain. The choice is yours now, to continue pointing backward or to face the open sea with courage, to replay or to rebirth, to suffer or to soar. There is no right time, there is only right now. And now is always enough. There is a quiet revolution happening in your soul, a gentle rebellion against the tyranny of yesterday. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't wait for applause. It rises like the tide, invisible but unstoppable. It rises not to destroy the past, but to transcend it, to outgrow it, to say, thank you for the experience, but I am not staying there. You were never meant to live in reverse. The mind, conditioned by the ego, obsesses over past errors and future fears. But your soul, it lives in the sacred now. It whispers truth into the space between thoughts. And its message is always the same. Return to presence. Let go. Be still. You are already home. Why do we believe the past holds more truth than the present? Because we've been trained to measure life by memory, to believe that what happened is more real than what is happening. But reality is not in the mind's museum of yesterday. Reality is right here in the breath, in the beat of your heart, in the awareness reading these words. You do not have to carry the weight of old identities any longer. They are not who you are. They are who you thought you had to be to survive, to belong, to be accepted in a world that forgot how to see the soul. But you have remembered you wouldn't be here listening if you hadn't. Something within you is stirring, cracking open. The truth of your being is emerging through the shell of your story. There are no justified resentments, not because the pain wasn't real, but because your healing matters more than your history. You cannot drink poison and expect someone else to suffer. You cannot cling to bitterness and hope for joy to grow. You must become ruthless in your forgiveness, not for them, for you, so that you can be light again. Let go of the idea that people owe you closure. That is the language of ego. The soul knows that closure is not given, it is chosen. It is an inner declaration. I will no longer wait for the past to fix itself before I allow myself to be free. The wake does not drive the boat. It may ripple, it may roar, it may foam with the memories of 1,000 storms. But it cannot dictate your direction unless you turn to follow it. And why would you, when everything you've ever sought is in front of you, not behind you? Peace is here, love is here, God is here, not in the past, not in the future, here. You've been taught that to change your life, you must work harder, try more, do better, but the truth is far more elegant. To change your life, you must change your relationship with thought. You must stop letting your mind bully your soul. You must return to the seat of your power, the stillness beneath it all. What if you simply stopped arguing with the past? What if you chose right now to bless it instead? What if you thanked every painful chapter for teaching you what love is not, so you could finally discover what love truly is? The wake cannot hurt you. It has no substance. It's made of movement, not matter. But when you replay it in your mind, when you rehearse the anger, the disappointment, the shame you give it, form again, you breathe life into a ghost. And that ghost sits in the captain's chair and steers you toward more of the same. You are the captain, reclaim the wheel. The mind may resist, it may say, but they were wrong, but I was hurt, but it's not fair. And that's okay. Let the mind protest, but do not let it lead. Let the thoughts come like birds, but do not build nests for them. Watch them fly and return to presence. Every day you carry your story is a day you delay your freedom. You are not bound by the events of your life. You are bound only by the meanings you've assigned to them. So revise the meaning. See your scars not as proof of suffering, but as evidence of survival. See your failures not as losses, but as sacred redirections. See your losses not as punishments, but as invitations to remember the impermanence of form. Everything that was taken from you has made space for what cannot be taken your soul. There is a deeper you that has never been touched by trauma, never bruised by betrayal, never lessened by lack. That self cannot be harmed. It is eternal, invisible, unshakable. And it is the you that drives the boat, if you let it. The wake may tell a story of brokenness, but the current of now, it flows with wholeness. It knows where to take you. It knows what you need. It knows how to heal you without your effort, without your analysis. It simply asks you to let go of control and trust the unfolding. This is the holy paradox. The moment you stop chasing healing, you begin to be healed. The moment you stop fixing yourself, you realize you were never broken. The moment you stop managing your life like a machine and start living it like a miracle, everything changes. Let it go. Let it all go. Not to forget, but to forgive. Not to ignore, but to transcend. Not to abandon, but to bless. And in that letting go, you will finally be carried. Not by effort, not by willpower, but by grace. Grace is the silent power that moves through your life when you stop trying to control the river. It is the divine GPS recalculating, rerouting, redeeming every moment you thought was wasted. Grace doesn't need a plan. It needs your permission. And when you say yes to now, grace floods in. It heals you in ways you never could have planned. It restores what you thought was lost. It rewrites the script in a language of peace. And all it asks is that you stop pretending the wake can lead you. So here you are, at the edge of yourself, not the self you've tried to protect or prove or polish, not the image you've curated to please the world or the narrative you've whispered to avoid discomfort, but the real you, the eternal, infinite, unburdened being you were before the story began. You've arrived not because you pushed harder, not because you fought your way here, but because something inside you stopped clinging. Something inside you chose the radical act of surrender. And in that surrender, you remembered the wake does not drive the boat. All along, the river was flowing. All along, grace was moving. All along, life was not punishing you, it was preparing you. And all along, you were already enough. You never had to drag your wounds like trophies. You never had to use your past as a passport. You never had to convince the world you deserved to move forward. You only had to remember you are the boat, not the wake. Let the tears come, if they come, not as sorrow, but as cleansing, not as grief, but as recognition. This is not the end. This is the return. This is the moment when the past unhooks from your spine and you stand finally without the weight of who you were. Feel it. The lightness, the spaciousness of this breath, the sacred silence between your thoughts. This is home, not the memories, not the names, not the explanations. This presence, this is who you are. You are not what happened. You are what remains. You are not the echo. You are the voice. You are not the history. You are the awareness watching it pass. You are not broken. You are the light that shines through the cracks. You are not the wake. You are the wind in the sails of now. And so I leave you with this. No matter what the world told you, you are free. No matter what your mind repeats, you are enough. No matter what happened before, the sacred now is untouched and it is yours. Go forward, not as someone trying to escape the past, but as someone who no longer needs it to feel real. Go forward, not as a survivor, but as a creator. Go forward, not because the wake is gone, but because you've stopped letting it lead. Sail now, not because you must, but because you can. Sail with trust, with openness, with grace. And when the past calls out to you, when it rises in the rear view like a familiar ghost, smile gently. Place your hand on your heart and say, I bless you, but I no longer follow you. Then turn your face toward the horizon, wide, wild, limitless, and step fully into the radiant now, because this is your time, and this is your truth, and this is your life. And finally, you remember the wake does not drive the boat. There is a quiet truth that lives behind every wound, behind every ache in the heart, behind every tear we refuse to cry. It is this: you cannot heal what you will not feel. You cannot rise above what you continue to bury beneath distractions, beneath denial, beneath the hardened mask of pretending everything is fine when your soul is crying for release. Healing is not about escape. It's not about fixing what is broken. It is about returning to what was never broken to begin with. It is about remembering who you are beneath the pain, remembering what it means to feel fully, openly, courageously. We live in a world that teaches suppression as strength and emotional silence as mastery, but the soul knows better. The soul knows that feeling deeply is the portal to transformation, that we do not transcend suffering by avoiding it. We transcend it by walking through it with awareness, with presence, with reverence. To feel is not to be weak, it is to be profoundly alive. And to feel with awareness is to awaken. Your pain is not the problem. Your resistance to feeling it is. Your emotions are not your enemies. They are messengers of the divine, asking for your attention. They are rivers of energy flowing through the landscape of your inner world, cleansing, clearing, revealing. Every emotion, even the ones you wish to escape, from shame, grief, rage, despair, they come bearing wisdom, they come holding keys. And when you stop running from them and instead sit with them, breathe with them, listen to them, you unlock something ancient and powerful within you. You reclaim your freedom. You were never meant to live a numb life. You were not born to walk through this existence armored and defended, pretending, hiding, escaping. You were born to feel, to love, to cry, to laugh, to shatter and rebuild, to open your heart wide enough to be pierced by life and still keep it open. And in that vulnerability, you become indestructible. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because nothing can own you anymore. There is no bypass to healing. You must go inward. You must enter the inner sanctum of your being, where your hidden grief still echoes, where your childhood longings still whisper, where your soul still waits patiently for you to return, not to judge, not to fix, but to feel. The moment you bring presence to your pain is the moment it begins to transmute. Awareness is alchemy. So many carry the belief that to heal means to get rid of pain. But true healing is not about elimination. It is about integration. It is about turning toward what hurts with such deep compassion that the hurt itself begins to dissolve. You do not need to be perfect to be whole. You do not need to be fearless to be free. You simply need to be willing to feel, willing to show up, willing to stop abandoning yourself. The pain you are avoiding is the portal to the peace you are seeking. You want to rise, but you must first descend. You want to be light, but you must first embrace your shadow. You want joy, but you must allow sorrow to have its say. This is the paradox of healing, that the more you allow yourself to feel the depths, the higher you rise into the heights. Breathe and let yourself feel. Let the tears fall if they need to. Let the anger speak if it must. Let the ache be acknowledged. Do not judge what arises. Witness it. Honor it. Emotions are not your identity. They are weather patterns passing through the sky of your consciousness. You are the sky. You are the awareness that holds it all. When you remember that, you no longer fear the storm. You become the calm in the center of it. There is a divine intelligence at work in your inner life. Every emotional wave you ride is not random. It is your soul's curriculum. And when you resist it, you prolong the lesson. But when you surrender to it with open eyes and an open heart, healing happens. Not on your schedule, but in perfect time. Your only job is to show up with love. And that love must begin with you. Not the version of you who's polished and spiritual and always says the right thing, but the version of you who still breaks, who still forgets, who still gets triggered. That version is the one who needs your love most. You cannot hate yourself into wholeness. You cannot shame yourself into enlightenment. You can only embrace yourself home. Forgiveness begins the moment you stop demanding that your past be different. When you stop trying to rewrite what happened and instead listen to what it came to teach you, your past is not your prison, it is your teacher, but only if you allow it to be. You must drop the sword of judgment and pick up the lamp of awareness. The wounds you carry are not punishments. They are invitations. The ego will always want to move fast, to fix, to analyze, to control, but the soul moves slow. The soul does not care how long it takes. The soul cares only that you come home. And coming home to yourself requires that you sit in the very places you once fled from, that you reclaim the parts of you that were exiled in moments of trauma, that you stop betraying your truth just to be accepted, that you feel. When you numb the pain, you numb the joy. When you suppress the sadness, you dilute the love. You cannot selectively numb emotion. The price of avoiding your inner world is the loss of your fullness. And you were not born to live a half-life, you were born for the full spectrum. The beauty, the sorrow, the ecstasy, the grief, the silence, the song, all of it. Let yourself be touched. Let life pierce you. Let your defenses fall. Cry if you need to. Scream if you must. Sit in silence if that's what your soul craves. But above all, feel it. Because feeling is the path. Feeling is the healing. You do not become less by feeling deeply. You become more. You become honest, whole, real. Your emotions are sacred. They are not interruptions to your spiritual path. They are the path. They are not weaknesses to overcome. They are strength in disguise. You have been taught to hide them. But I ask you now, what if you honored them instead? What if you saw your grief not as a failure, but as a sacred river flowing you back to yourself? What if your rage was not dangerous, but holy when expressed with consciousness? What if your sorrow was a doorway to compassion? You do not need to be saved. You need to be seen by you. You need to be felt. You need to be held not by the world, but by your own awakened presence. Can you offer yourself that? Can you sit with yourself like a dear friend? No fixing, no rushing, just feeling, just breathing, just being. You have already survived the thing you feared would break you. And now you are here. Not broken, but broken open. Not shattered, but expanded. The scar does not mean you failed. It means you healed. It means something powerful moved through you, and you live to tell the story. Let the story be love. Let the story be liberation. Let the story be, I came home to myself by finally feeling what I was afraid to feel. You are not your fear. You are not your pain. You are not the memory that plays over and over in your mind. You are the one who sees it. You are the stillness behind the storm. You are the consciousness witnessing the waves of experience rise and fall, and in that witnessing, you awaken. To awaken is not to float above your pain, but to sink so deeply into presence that even your pain becomes illuminated by it. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you begin to ask, what is this showing me? That question asked from the soul unlocks transformation. It takes you out of victimhood and places you in alignment with divine wisdom. You become the alchemist, turning sorrow into strength and tears into truth. There is an intelligence inside your pain. It is not random. It is not punishment. It is initiation. You are being called into a deeper version of yourself, not by escaping the wound, but by entering it consciously. That is the sacred path. That is the hero's journey. You must feel to heal. You must see it to release it, and you must stop pretending that the wound never happened. You are not meant to transcend emotion by rising above it. You are meant to become so fully present with it that it dissolves in your loving awareness. That is the fire of transformation. You do not conquer your shadows by force. You illuminate them with love. You sit with your grief like a child who has been waiting to be held. You listen to your rage like a long-lost friend who was never allowed to speak. You bow before your sorrow and say, you are welcome here. This is not weakness. This is power. Emotional mastery does not come from suppression, but from deep presence. The kind of presence that says, I will not abandon myself anymore. I will not reject this part of me. I will feel this all the way through. And when you do that, something ancient unlocks. A light comes through the wound, and in that light, you rise. The world will tell you to get over it. But your soul says, go into it. The world will tell you to be strong, but your soul says, be real. The world will reward the mask, but your soul longs for authenticity. And it is only when you choose to honor the voice within that healing becomes possible. You are not here to carry the old stories forever. You are here to feel them fully once and let them go. You are not here to keep rehearsing your pain. You are here to extract its wisdom and set it free. Every time you revisit a wound with judgment, you reopen it. But every time you revisit it with compassion, you close it with grace. You don't need closure from someone else. You need release from within. You don't need permission to heal. You just need presence. There is nothing outside of you that can heal what's been ignored within. No apology, no explanation, no validation. The only one who can offer you peace is you. And that peace begins with feeling. So stop asking the pain to leave before it's been fully heard. Sit with it. Speak to it. Ask it what it came to teach you. Ask your sadness what it longs for. Ask your anger what it's protecting. Ask your fear what memory it's tied to. And listen, really listen, with stillness, with reverence, with no agenda but truth. When you become still enough, the truth begins to rise. And when the truth rises, healing happens naturally. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. You let the emotion come up and you let it move through. You became the open channel. And in that openness, you set yourself free. Do not fear the depth of your emotions. Fear the numbness that steals your aliveness. Do not fear breaking down. Fear building a prison inside yourself where nothing is ever allowed to be real. The pain you feel is a doorway. The tears you cry are holy water. The tremble in your voice is sacred. Let it be. You are not broken. You are breaking open. You are not lost. You are being called inward. You are not too much. You are finally becoming honest. This is your path now. Not to pretend, not to avoid, but to feel deeply, bravely, lovingly. Let your feelings move like waves across your soul. Let the energy rise and fall. Let your heart become the ocean vast enough to hold it all. You are not a victim of your emotions. You are the sky that contains them. You are not the pain. You are the presence that welcomes it, transforms it, releases it. You've spent years trying to be strong by not crying. But strength is not in silence, it's in sacred expression. Strength is not about holding it all, and it's about letting it move through you without shame. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to reclaim your wholeness. And that begins with allowing your inner world to speak. Let your body shake if it needs to. Let the sobs come. Let the emotion rise like a wave and crash through you. And then notice what remains. That stillness, that clarity, that space, that is you. That is the self beneath the storm. And the more you return there, the less you fear what passes through. Healing does not require perfection. It requires presence. You do not need to have all the answers. You need only to feel the truth of this moment. That's where freedom lives. In the now, in this breath, in this letting go, when you feel it, you heal it. You were never meant to hold it all inside. What the world calls composure, your soul may call imprisonment. What the world calls strength, your spirit may whisper is suppression. And if you listen carefully, not to the noise of the world, but to the silence within, you'll hear the invitation, the quiet but powerful call. Come back to yourself. Feel. Let it move through you. You see, energy cannot be destroyed. It must move. And every feeling you've ever locked away is still waiting, somewhere in the basement of your being, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be felt just once so it can be free. This is why we cannot heal with the mind alone. The mind will loop, but the body remembers. The heart remembers. The soul remembers. And it is only when we give ourselves permission to feel what we've suppressed that we truly return to wholeness. Every time you said, "I'm fine," when you weren't. Every time you swallowed your tears. Every time you dismissed your own needs for the comfort of others, it stayed inside, and now it longs to be seen. The inner child, the buried grief, the unspoken fears, they do not need to be exercised, they need to be embraced. To feel is to reclaim your humanity. It is to remember that beneath the mask of control, you are still a being of light who came here not to dominate life, but to dance with it, to breathe it in, to open wide, to love with the full capacity of your being, even if it breaks you sometimes, even if it unravels what you thought was you. Because what unravels wasn't you, it was a construct, a survival shell, a layer of protection. But the soul is not interested in protection, it is interested in expansion. And to expand, you must allow the shell to crack. You must allow the river of your truth to flow again. Do not fear the cracking, for it is in the cracking that the light gets in. It is in the cracking that the seed breaks open and becomes a tree. It is in the cracking that the caterpillar dissolves to become a butterfly. You are not dying when you feel deeply, you are transforming. The old is falling away, the new is being born. Let it come. So many believe that healing is about doing another book, another technique, another retreat. But healing is often about undoing. It is about removing the layers that were never you to begin with. The false strength, the numbed out smile, the spiritual bypass, the pretending, the I'm okay mask. When all along, what you needed most was a sacred pause, a breath of permission slip to feel. Feeling is not something you must fear, it is something you must relearn. The child in you once felt freely. Tears came with honesty, laughter came from the belly, fear came with trembling. But then came the conditioning. Be strong, don't cry, toughen up. And little by little, the armor was built. But now is the time to take it off. Slowly, gently, reverently. There is nothing wrong with you for having emotions. There is nothing shameful about sadness, nothing weak about anger, nothing flawed in fear. These are the sacred winds of your soul moving through you. Let them, trust them, learn from them. Don't stuff them back in the box because someone told you they were inconvenient. Your healing doesn't need to make others comfortable. You are not here to be digestible. You are here to be whole. To be whole, you must reclaim your pain. Reclaim it not by glorifying it, but by honoring it. By saying, this happened, I feel it, I see it, and I love myself anyway. That is the medicine. That is the liberation. Not that the pain disappears, but that you are no longer afraid of it. You are no longer owned by it. You are now the one holding it in awareness instead of it holding you in fear. The moment you allow yourself to feel, without judgment, something sacred opens. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to realize that there is nothing inside of you that is unworthy of love. Nothing that is too messy, too ugly, too broken to be healed by presence. Your soul does not demand perfection. Your soul simply asks that you return. Return to the breath, return to this body, return to this now. Return to your heart, however bruised, however guarded, and say, I'm here, I'm listening, I won't abandon you again. This is not a one-time act. This is a practice, a devotion, a remembering over and over again that your emotions are not obstacles to awakening. They are the path. They are the truth. And when you trust the truth, even when it hurts, even when it shakes you, you are never truly lost. You are on the path, and the path is inside you. So let the tears come when they come. Let the laughter bubble up without needing a reason. Let the stillness settle in your bones. Let the grief move through your chest like a sacred storm. Let the rage burn clean through the lies. Let the sorrow soften you. Let the love return not from outside, but from within. You do not need to wait any longer. Not for someone to understand, not for the world to slow down, not for the timing to be right. The time is now. The place is here. The healer you've been waiting for is you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not wrong for feeling how you feel. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in the curriculum of your soul. The lesson is feeling. The exam is surrender. The reward is freedom. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, to be honest, to be whole, to be soft where life once made you hard, to be open where you once had to close, to feel again, and in feeling, to live again. You are not here to be untouched by pain. You are here to discover that pain does not diminish your divinity. It reveals it, because only something eternal can hold what is temporary without breaking. Only something infinite can remain rooted when the winds of life try to shake it. You are not your emotions, but you must feel them. You are not your past, but you must honor it. You are not the pain, but you must face it. Because freedom does not come from avoiding what hurts. It comes from entering the fire with your eyes wide open and your heart even wider. Every tear you've ever cried was holy. Every moment you felt too much was sacred. Every time you broke down, you were breaking open. You were shedding an old identity. You were releasing inherited fear. You were unlearning the belief that being human was somehow shameful. You are not here to be a statue of composure. You are here to be a living, breathing work of art imperfect, evolving, radiant with truth. You see, the world doesn't need more control. It needs more compassion. It needs more people brave enough to feel their own pain so they don't project it onto others. Brave enough to sit with grief without turning it into blame. Brave enough to say, I am hurting, and not be ashamed of that truth. Because that truth is what will heal you. Your healing does not lie in hiding. It lies in unveiling, in revealing what's behind the mask, in telling the truth of what's been buried, in crying the tears that never got to fall, in feeling the weight you've been silently carrying, and finally saying, I'm done pretending. You don't have to be okay to be worthy. You don't have to be strong to be loved. You don't have to be fearless to be free. You only have to be willing to slow down, willing to listen, willing to turn toward your inner world instead of away from it, willing to sit in the silence long enough for your soul to speak, willing to feel not just when it's comfortable, but when it's uncomfortable, especially then, because healing begins in the places we've abandoned. It begins the moment we stop betraying our own heart for the sake of fitting in. It begins when we say, I'm going to feel what I feel, even if no one else understands. It begins when we stop waiting for permission to come home to ourselves. And that journey home, it is not linear. It is not tidy. It is messy. It is raw. It is real. Some days you will cry without knowing why. Some days the joy will rise up like sunlight through your skin. Some days the fear will whisper again. Some days peace will flood you like a river. Let it all be. Let it all come. Let it all move through, because you're not here to control the waves. You're here to remember. You are the ocean. You are vast. You are capable. You are spacious enough to hold everything you feel without losing yourself in it. And when you know this, truly know this, you no longer fear the storm. You dance with it. You breathe with it. You bless it. You see it not as an enemy, but as a messenger. You thank it for what it came to teach you. And then you let it go. You bless and release. You feel and you free. This is the work. This is the path. Not perfection, but presence. Not resistance, but reverence. Not suppression, but sacred surrender. You were never meant to escape your emotions. You were meant to awaken through them. You were never meant to bypass the pain. You were meant to hold it in the arms of your compassion until it no longer needed to scream. And if the tears come, let them come. They are not weakness. They are your soul's way of cleansing, of making space for something new. They are the rainfall that softens the hardened earth of your being. If the anger rises, let it rise consciously, safely, without shame. It is the flame that burns away the lie that you must always smile to be spiritual. If the grief comes, do not rush it. Sit with it like an old friend who never got to speak. Listen, and you will hear the voice of your soul beneath the sorrow. It will not scream. It will whisper. And that whisper will say, you are safe now. You can feel this. You are ready. And if joy bursts through the cracks of your healing, do not doubt it. Let it pour in. You are allowed to feel joy, even in the middle of your process. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. Feel it all. Feel it fully. Because when you feel it, you heal it. And healing is not the end. It is the beginning of a new relationship with yourself. One that is built not on control or avoidance, but on unconditional presence. One where you stop abandoning yourself when things get heavy. One where you trust your inner world enough to sit with it. One where you realize the feelings you feared were never here to hurt you. They were here to free you. And they have, because now you know you don't have to run anymore. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to push it all down just to make it through the day. You can feel, you can breathe, you can be. This is your return. This is your rebirth. This is your liberation. And it began the moment you said yes, not to fixing yourself, but to feeling yourself. Yes to the tears. Yes to the trembling. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the truth. Yes to the sacred unfolding of your own beautiful becoming. And now breathe. Feel it all one last time. Let it wash through you. And as you exhale, let it go. Because it's not who you are. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not your fear. You are the one who felt it all and survived and transformed and rose and remembered you do not heal by hiding from what you feel. You heal by finally, lovingly, fully feeling it. You are free now. Welcome home